Node 564560 connected to node 564562. Node 346427 connected to node 5645.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net On the '08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that get on the airwaves with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain, and it spits out digital images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about our group, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, a little background history on our group, and also you'll find a link to YouTube where we transmit our audio from the digital side on 2 meters radio through WW7STR's 2-meter repeater, 147.08 with a tone of 103.5. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the '08 machine before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, welcome back. Again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the '08 machine. Checked in by video links so far is Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma. Bob, K9PQ. Richard, K7ITX. James, WU7N. And myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check in? N7QO. Thanks for checking in. And again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. So let's start out with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dave. KD7QKU here. I have 33.4 degrees. I thought I had 32 when I came in here and sat down, but I'm hearing feedback from somebody. Somebody isn't muted. So anyway, we had a good time for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, Joanne's family came here, and then on Christmas Day, we went out to my son Mike's. So we all went to church on Christmas Eve, and then they had 4 o'clock, and then 5:30. We went to the 5:30 service, and then we came here. Joanne cooked a ham, and then her sister and her nieces and stuff brought food. So we had a nice dinner and sat around and visited till about midnight, I think. When they went to go home, there was frost on the top of the cars. I was kind of surprised. But anyway, and then going out to Mike's on the Key Peninsula, there wasn't much traffic, and we had brunch there, so we were able to leave about 4 o'clock to come home, and so that was nice not to be driving in the dark and in the rain on that 2-lane highway. But anyway, it was fine, so we had a great time, so I guess now we're looking towards New Year's. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. I was trying to get Richard's attention to point out we're twins tonight. We both have our Seattle Kraken sweaters, you call them, not jerseys, sweaters, right, in hockey. So, yeah, sort of just kind of trying to get myself settled in a little bit here. I haven't got either of my 2 pods delivered yet. The hard part, as I'm finding out, is setting up movers, considering there are only 2 moving companies that I know of on the whole north end of Whidbey Island. So it's a little bit different situation than where it was in Bothell, where I sort of had my pick. But yeah, so I'll be trying to get that happening this week, at least the first one, that will have my bed and a bunch of furniture and basically all this stuff from the second load. All the stuff I kept behind, so all my kitchen stuff. I hadn't packed up any kitchen stuff. So there will still be a lot left to go in the second load, but the first one I want to get done quickly and get sort of settled in. They'll have my TV, which will be nice too. And I don't have high-speed internet yet, so I'm still using Echolink over my phone, and my internet is still the hotspot through the phone, which is why I'm not even trying to do OBS tonight, as has been the case the whole time I was in the trailer. That's why I didn't do it there either. The good news is based on the plot that I think I posted to our text thread. It looks like I've got a clear shot, a very long shot, but a very clear shot to the repeater. So I think at the very least I should be able to get 08. I might have to go a little bit higher power. I think it was like 70 miles as a crow flies, 60, 70, something like that as a crow flies. So it's a long way, but it's, you know, I didn't see any obstructions at all or nothing even really very close. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited, and you know, who knows with the video. I'm going to try, and we'll see what I can do. But for one thing, I can't put up external antennas. I'll talk to the board. I figured I'm going to be putting stuff up in the attic, but I doubt that's going to get the job done for video. And so I'm going to talk to the board and see if they'll let me put stuff on, you know, somehow outside of the house. I did meet the vice president last night, and the one thing she emphasized was that this was new siding that we have, and one of the stipulations for the warranty was that nothing can be attached to the siding. So I wasn't planning to do that anyway, but so they're very touchy about that. But I think as long as I stay away from the siding, I might be allowed to put something. Generally, they're pretty touchy about the outside, the exterior in general. They all want everything to look kind of the same. Unlike my last place, you know, that had 15 buildings with 5 units in each, all of those buildings looked very, very much the same. The color paint was the only real difference. These are different sizes, a little bit different configurations, but they all are in the same style. And you know, I'm sure they want to keep everything outside looking nice and not have a bunch of antennas sticking up everywhere. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do. Like I say, the attic is a good start. That should get me 2 meters, and I'm planning to try and get some HF going from the attic as well. All right, well, that's good for starters. I will send it back, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that, Bob. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, I noticed your shirt right away, Bob. So we're, I guess, like-minded people. There you go. Anyway, yeah, and way to go on your house. That's really fun. Let's just get the movers cracking, and oh no, pardon the pun, but let's get the movers going and get your bed and all that stuff. Yeah, you can tell you're in an empty space. There's an echo, so there's, you know, nothing to. I mean, you've got nothing but reverberation with the walls around you, nothing to deaden the sound. So yeah, you need to get some stuff in there to sound a little bit more normal. So anyway, let's see, 33.8 degrees is what my outside thermometer is showing. Yeah, I did feel ice on Christmas Eve. I felt ice on the outside handrail. There was a heavy fog or mist or dew, and then it froze. I don't know what it's going to do tonight. I suspect it's going to get down to freezing. I've got chores to do to kind of make sure my pipes don't freeze. I'm not too worried. It isn't like we're having a hard freeze where it's, you know, in the 20s for extended periods. That's when I need to panic. But right now, I'm not too worried about 33.8, and I suspect it might get down to 31 at the lowest. I hope. So I don't know. Pretty calm, quiet day. Nothing exciting. Just gonna wait for get a good night's sleep and get up early for the Seahawks play at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, of course, want to watch that. The only big news I have is I finally got the big call from the University of Washington to come and see them for 3.5 hours with surgeons and dietitians and doctors to get me on the list finally get listed for a kidney transplant. And hopefully that'll happen on January 27th, and then I'll get listed, and my transplant hopefully will be imminent. I'm not sure how long I'll have to wait. If it's anything like waiting for my lung transplant, it was only 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to get that lucky, but God only knows. So with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. And get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause momentarily in case anybody else wishes to check into the net. Hearing none, again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to Covington to N7QO. Get Jim.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, let's see. Ron, 33 degrees. Dick, 33 degrees. I'm showing 35 degrees here just south of Covington. It sure feels cold out there, though. An hour or so ago, the sky was clear, but now it looks like there's a high overcast. I could definitely see aircraft flying below the clouds, though. There are some breaks in the overcast, so every now and then I could see some stars. But I think it's probably going to develop some fog in the morning, because right now it seems like there's a lot of humidity in the air. Let's see. Oh, also it's nice and calm out there too. Well, Ron, church, Christmas Eve, that's what I did as well. I had something else in mind, but my wife didn't see it my way, so we compromised. So anyway, that's what I did. Apologize for missing the last net. And sounds like you had a wonderful Christmas, and the day after as well. Bob, trouble finding movers. Okay, I'm not sure if this is still valid, but what some people would do is go by the local Home Depot, and typically there are some people hanging around there looking for work, I don't know if there's even a Home Depot up there. Maybe Lowe's has people looking for work as well, but I don't know. I'm closer to a Home Depot. And let's see, probable line of sight. That is a good thing. That does sound like quite a distance, but you never know. There have been some amazing long-distance contacts made. Just have to see what happens. And Dick, that is wonderful news. Going to be examined on the 27th of next month, like a month from today, to get on the transplant list. I will be saying some prayers for you on that. Hope that works out well. There are some people who have volunteered to give kidneys as well. They just have to make sure that they're a match. So it may actually be a little bit easier getting a kidney than getting a lung, but that's just a guess on my part. So we'll see. They'll measure all the appropriate parameters from you that they need, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. Well, so today my wife wanted to watch a movie, so that's what we wound up doing. I wasn't paying real close attention to it. I was doing a little reading instead. But that's okay. We were together anyway. And
Node 1.
back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
HI. Connected to Node 5 6 4 5
N7QO.
6
Let's go to
0.
James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
And I'm getting really erratic responses out of the power meter. Stand by, and I'll come in on OBS.
Hey, I've got a call sign here. This is, and the image should come up. There's the image. WU7N here in Northeast Bellevue. Well, my goodness, all kinds of good news tonight. Ron, glad you had a good Christmas. And Bob, I hope you get the antennas up that you need. Jim, yes, it was cold. I was out in the Northeast Highlands today, and the general comment was, my goodness, it's cold out here. And then just this evening, after the sun was down, I was also out on my street, and it was also very cold. So, Richard, I'm glad to hear that things are moving in a positive direction. That's fantastic. And Bob, as far as picking up, movers in the Home Depot parking lot, if you need bail to get you out of ICE detention, let us know, and we'll help you out with that. At least I would be willing to chip in for a full $5 at least, for whatever, thousands of dollars it takes. Well, anyway, I got an interesting story to tell tonight. My neighbor is trying to sell a very nice car, and he was pulling it out of a storage area and up to his house. He was very excited. He said, hey, yeah, I got some buyers coming over, and they're going to look at it. And then later he called me to say that it was all a fraud. It was all a scam. And what they do is there's three of them. They come over, and they distract you, and they start have apparently little squirt bottles of oil on or something, and they squirt oil on the side of the engine when you're not looking, and then they squirt oil up the exhaust so that when the car heats up a little bit, smoke starts coming out the exhaust, and they squirt oil in various other obnoxious places and spray it on the ground and make a big mess. And then they say, oh, your head gaskets have just blown out, but I tell you what, we'll give you pennies on the dollar for it and haul it away for you. As scrap. And he this must have been very frustrating for the fraudsters because he's such an honest man. He says, no, I can't sell you this car. I told you when you came over, this was a working car in great shape, just back from the mechanic and everything. There's no way I'll sell it to you. I guess just for hearing my friend's side of it, I guess they got very, very frustrated with him. They kept trying to, get him into some kind of thing where he would think he was really putting one over on him. But instead, he's so honest. He said, no, I won't sell you that car. And then he figured out what happened. So I was helping him out there trying to clean all the oil mess they made all over the place. But they put oil, somehow managed to get the radiator cap off and put oil in the radiator cap. So he's going to have to flush the whole system now because of what these three jerks did. So be careful out there. I was going around to my neighbors saying tonight's probably a bad night to park your car in the driveway because they, for some reason, wanted to know the exact address. And he said, well, just come up to this intersection. No. They wanted to know the exact address. So that tells me that they either plan to come back and steal that car, or maybe they'll just come back and steal whatever car they can steal. So fun and games here in Northeast Bellevue. So anyway, I sincerely hope these people meet some psycho with a gun someday. But anyway, so that's the hot news that is news around here. Looks like I thought I had solved my problem with this older ICOM, 706, IC 706 transceiver by changing the antenna, because the antenna was very suspicious, and I was getting all kinds of erratic readings on the power meter. And when I changed the antenna out, suddenly it started working okay. So I go, okay, well, there must be something shorting out in this mystery antenna. But then tonight when I was trying to use it, I was getting all sorts of strange power readings again out of the power meter. So I don't think we're there yet. So anyway, that's all the hot news that is news. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the big stop.
WU7N, thanks with that. And get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's see, I'm showing my thermometer here, 34 degrees, and it's cloudy outside. I can't see any stars. And hopefully it'll chill down, I think, to 32 tonight. So I don't know if we'll see any white flakes or not, but I'm hoping not. And for Christmas, oh my, I got together with my daughter and her family, and we all went out for Chinese. And my gosh, I got some barbecued pork and had some of that Chinese hot mustard. And I have never had Chinese hot mustard as hot as this Chinese mustard was at this particular restaurant. Boy, it cleaned out my sinuses, and oh my, and the next day it cleaned out other things too. But boy, that was really hot mustard. And then my most prized gifts that I got was, I like Market Spice tea, and I got a container of that for my daughter. And also, I'm one of these fans of fruitcake, and I got a little hunk of fruitcake for my holiday gifts. So that's pretty much the story here in Lake City. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. So I'll move it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. KD7QKU here. I don't know if I said good evening to everyone or not, but it's always nice to see everyone. Well, Bob, when you were talking, I was sitting here thinking when you lived up on Maple Leaf, I guess, on 15th, you had a window that pointed towards the repeater on Cougar Mountain. And we put an antenna, I remember, on a piece of plywood, and you'd open the window and then you'd set it in.
Node 5.
I don't know
6,
if anything like
4,
that would be possible
5,
where you live
6,
now.
0.
I don't know which
Connected
way your house is
to
situated, but
node 6,
something like that
3, 4, 3, 8.
capable of doing. And Richard used to have a tripod in his living room with a 70 centimeter antenna on it, I think, and he pointed it out the window and he would talk to Tacoma. I think that's what he did, if I remember correctly. So something like that might work for you too, Bob. If you had a window, he's given me a thumbs up. If you had a window that, looked at cougar, you could maybe have a 2-meter. I guess we had those. Richard had an elk antenna, and I have an elk antenna. I don't know if you do, Bob, but it has a little bit of gain in it. You do, yeah. So if you had an elk antenna and pointed it towards a cougar with 2-meter, it probably would work. So let's see what else. Well, it sounds like everybody's kind of cool tonight. Wade came over, let's see, I guess 2 evenings ago, and we visited for a while, and he wanted to take my little mesh-tastic, I guess it is, mesh-tastic, little bitty tiny radio, and convert it to mesh core. So I said, fine. So he taken it home, and he converted it to mesh core, and then he gave me a call and said, I'm coming over, and I said, okay. So he gave it to me and made sure it was hooked up to my phone. It worked through Bluetooth, so it was just working great all day, all afternoon. And then it pings in my hearing aids whenever anybody puts a message on it. And so we were watching this movie, and I was constantly being pinged because people were pretty active on it. And so I decided I wanted to shut it off. And I used to there's 2 buttons on it. I used to push this one button and just hold it, and the little radio would shut off. Well, I tried that, and that didn't exactly work. And so then I pushed the other button a few times, and I guess eventually I got it to quit. And so then I tried to turn it on this morning, and I had a little bit of trouble getting it on and getting it to connect with Bluetooth. And then I got it connected, and I think I sent one message, and I received some, but it keeps shutting off now. So it runs a minute or 2, and then it shuts off. So then I have to go to Bluetooth in my phone and connect back up to it, and then get it turned on. And so I messed it up. So I'm going to have Wade straighten it out for me again. And I think I figured out how you can. There's a menu, and in the menu it says hibernation. So maybe that's the off. If I put it in hibernation, it wouldn't ping in my ear. So anyway, that's too bad that I kind of fouled it up. So that's what I did. Watched football games. Today was a lot of college football games. None of them, I wasn't interested in very many. I think Clemson played BYU, and that was a pretty good game. BYU, they intercepted a pass in the last 21 seconds to prevent Clemson. It was 21-23, I think. And if Clemson would have, they threw into the end zone. It was that close, and then BYU intercepted the pass, and then, of course, they had the ball, and there was only 21 seconds left. I believe that's how it went. I was asleep most of the time, tell you the truth. And so anyway, and then I called Richard, and we had a nice phone call. I had a question about what's going to happen with the income tax, but he wasn't sure either. All right, back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that report. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ on Whidbey Island.
Okay, well, hi again. Let's see, I'll dive right into my notes. Jim, Home Depot. I might try that. I was thinking, I could just, there are probably handymans. I know there are handyman services around. I don't know if those people would do that. I know there are people around that would do the job, but, I've had pretty good luck with using professional movers lately, so I'm going to try that first. And unlike when I was hiring the movers to move out, I was really trying to save money then. I have the money now, so I'm going to use it and go to professional movers. That's my plan. And yeah, ice. I actually have run into that already up here where I store my trailer. The guy working behind the desk, I gathered he was the son of the person that started it. I think it was his father-son operation. Not too sure, but I think he was. Anyway, he had a British accent, English accent, and even he was concerned about ice. I asked him, I thought, well, I wasn't sure about asking, but I went ahead and asked, and he said, oh yes, he's very concerned about ice. He said, they haven't been seen up around here yet that he knows of, but they've been seen down around the south end of the island. So, it's a real thing to be concerned about. And I would think, oh, England, that's not a problem. But he said, no, it's a problem. That's pretty weird about the scam. Man, you hear about stuff like that, and and you just have to be on your toes. And the thing especially about them trying to push them into it, that's when the alarm bells should be going off, and you just say, no, go away. That's what you have. And it's hard. I mean, I have been scammed in the past, and it's very hard. They're good at what they do. They know what they're doing, and you have to be on your toes. And sorry about your antenna problems. I thought you were going to say when you switched and tried a different antenna and that worked, you would just leave that other antenna on. If it works, why not? But I'm sure there's some reason you want to use the original antenna. Dave, the super hot Chinese mustard. I think the hottest mustard I've ever had has been Chinese hot mustard. They're not all super hot like that, but definitely that's the hottest. It can be extremely hot. And believe it or not, I've never tried Market Spice Tea. One of these days, maybe I will, but I haven't tried it. I know it's a favorite for a lot of people. And as far as antenna placement here, I have no south-facing windows. The south of my condo is the back. So there's the laundry room there with no window, and then the garage. So what I can do is put it up in the garage, which is probably what I'll do, and I might even put the elk antenna up in the garage so it's pointing that way. We'll see. I'll see how it works out. I might try and get a few different antennas because I also I can get Blinn from here, I think. So connect with Lee. And one that I never could get from my house because of the hill, but is real popular, and I think you've mentioned it, Ron, is Lyman. I think I can get Lyman from here very easily because it's actually up this way. It's north. Let's see, my Christmas meal. So I bought eggnog. I mean, it was not much of a meal, I'll say that. But I bought eggnog just to get a little bit Christmassy, and then I did the Helen Christmas tradition, which was my mom made oyster stew every Christmas. And for those of us like myself that didn't like oyster stew, we got chicken noodle soup. So I bought chicken noodle soup for my Christmas dinner, and that was very nice. The temperature here is 36.8, and I'm glad it's not going to be hard freezing anytime here soon, although I'm going to move up to my trailer. I have one last thing to do to winterize my trailer, and that is drain the fresh water tank and the hoses, so they don't freeze and cause problems. I guess I've never had this problem, but I guess the pump breaking is the most common problem. People have to get pumps replaced when the water freezes inside the water pump. And that's pretty cool about the Mesh-tastic. I've got a friend that's been doing Mesh-tastic and Mesh Core, and that's pretty cool that you're getting involved with that, Ron. I'm curious how that's working out for you. Let's see, there was a couple more things. Oh, for me, so I'm coming to you. I'm going to turn the camera for those that are watching on Discord. That would be one for the rest of you. So I've got a couple of TV trays and a monitor and my good computer that I was using before out of my storage down in Woodinville. So I got a few things from Woodinville, and the chair I'm sitting on now, which is a folding chair, but it's when it's folded out, it's like a dining room chair. So I've got a few nice things. I'm no longer using just a camp chair with the side table pulled out, which is what I was doing before. That was all outside of the counter, that was my only working surface I had. So slowly but surely we're getting a little better. But yeah, it's going to make a big difference sometime this week, whenever I can get it arranged to get everything from that first pod.
Node 3464272
timeout?
disconnected.
K9PQ, the Gator gotcha.
Okay, well, that's interesting because that thing that Carlos put in is supposed to prevent that. That's why we get a drop for a few seconds every couple of minutes.
Connected to
I don't know what you
node
missed.
5,
Let's see, what was I talking about at the end?
4,
Just
5,
getting stuff from
6,
storage, I guess.
0.
And how nice it's going to be to get the first of the 2 pods back, which is going to have most of the basic stuff I need. Okay, I'll send it back to NMPQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, Bob, I don't think you're going to have any trouble. Well, we know you won't have any trouble with Lyman Hill. I can get Lyman Hill from my house here, like gangbusters. Well, Ron, of course, has a straight shot across the water, so he wouldn't have any difficulty. And Lyman Hill it just is so dang high. And Ron was right. There's been occasion when I would have antennas in, and I didn't have any windows. I mean, I'd point the beam right through a wall, and so I don't know if the elk's going to do it, but something with enough, some. A lot of a beam with a lot of elements. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have a problem at all. I don't think. It seems like there's some people up in your neck of the woods that don't have a problem hitting repeaters in the Seattle area. So anyway, that'll be interesting to see how you do that, and surely something in your attic. But oh my God, at least I can't imagine being in my attic anytime soon. That's quite a challenge or a chore. But you're a young, stable man. I don't question your ability to pull it off. Jeez, oh my God. So anyway, I had a little bit of an outage for a second there. I'm not sure what happened, and now I see Dave has disappeared from Discord. So, but I suspect he's still listening. I had a really nice Christmas. Christmas Day, went to my brother's house for the first time in University Place, down by Chambers Bay in Tacoma. It was a normal watch football, the guys in one room watching football, and the girls in another room talking whatever they talk about. probably the most unique adventure I had or experience was my brother has two zero gravity chairs. Now, I don't know if you ever sat in a zero gravity chair before, but literally, and they're like regular recliners, like I'm sitting in now, very comfy. But they do one thing my chair doesn't do, and pretty much they'll help you stand on your head. It's a pretty good feeling. I was watching football, not standing on my head, but with my feet way above my head. I mean, I was definitely inverted, and I really enjoyed it. You could just feel the liquid draining from your feet. If you had any kind of swelling whatsoever, that chair takes care of it. I'm telling you. God, it was a good feeling. So now that's what I want for Christmas is a zero gravity chair. It's always something, isn't it? Now it's zero gravity chair. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO.
I see Wade if you want to get him in before me.
Oh, I didn't notice Wade was here. We'll take Wade then. W7ITL.
Hello, guys. I'm just going to make it quick. Still kind of getting over my cold. It's nice seeing everybody. Looking forward to the New Year's coming up here in a few days. Got some good time behind the wheel with my son. He has got a few more drives left before he gets his certificate to get his driver's license. So we spent about an hour and a half today driving around, and didn't get a chance to go to Radio Club today. But besides that, just kind of hanging out. Went out to dinner with Rachel, and now the boys are over here, my son's friends, and they're watching some shows on TV behind me. You might see my wife kind of come in and out of frame. She's sitting in the back chair there sometimes. Talked to Ron yesterday, went and visited him, and had a good conversation, and got him on MeshCore. Hopefully we get some of you guys on MeshCore too, because the network is growing so big. It'd be nice to have a kind of a private comm for the group. So not a lot more to talk about on this round. I might check in another round, but I do have one other thing to do before to bed. So I will say tentatively 73 to everybody, and I'll see you guys maybe after the New Year's. This is W7ITL.
This is KD7ZYM, and this is an ID for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. And let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO. What say you, Jim?
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, that's quite a story about that car scam. Wow, that's something to watch out for. I guess I've always kept my cars so long that probably no one would really even want to steal them. I certainly have one vehicle that falls into that category now. But wow, thank you for saying that. Dave, daughter's family, Chinese food, hot mustard, yeah. I have definitely had some similar things, which drained the sinuses. I don't like that, but the problem is sometimes you don't know until it's too late. Or I remember, I think it was you, Dave. I remember this story about someone sitting at the next table saying "hot, hot, hot." So I guess if you don't have that as a warning, it's easy to experience something that's unexpectedly hot. And let's see, Ron. Yeah, I heard that about the conversion to mesh core. And Wade, looks like getting people onto mesh core. I'm not sure what the difference is between Mesh-tastic and mesh core exactly, but interesting. Bob, professional movers. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. They would certainly have experience with different pieces of furniture and whatnot. I had someone caution me about not having your stuff put into storage by movers anywhere. There's some sort of scam that goes on around that. But I would guess you don't need to put your stuff in storage. You're just kind of moving it in directly. Dick, zero gravity chair. Yeah, I don't know if I like being upside down. I've done that a couple of times in airplanes, and I don't like it. But then maybe it's a matter of how many G-forces you're pulling in the negative direction. So maybe. Wade, congratulations to your son there, almost a driver. And to that I also have to say, someone is going to be wanting another car. So good luck with that. Let's see, what other comments do I have? Tonight the television repeater is working extremely well from my location. I've got good video, good audio, and seems pretty well synced up with everything. 2-second delay, that's it. And back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. Let's go on to James, WU7N. What say you, James?
Oh, there I am. Okay, so WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And let's see. Well, I was going to comment hot mustard, Chinese hot mustard. You know, I've got to go and get some of that. I think it does have medicinal value for sinuses. I agree with you on that. And let's see. I think I already said, Richard, I will definitely have you in my thoughts and prayers here that you get whatever you need there. Other good news that happened to me over the past week. Let's see. Monday, I spent the entire day getting my AT&T phone number ported over to T-Mobile, and I'm not sure what went wrong there, but it took ultimately 2 T-Mobile employees in a store, and then a T-Mobile employee, a escalated tech guy on the phone, and an escalated tech at AT&T. And by the end of it all, I was yelling, push, push, push. Push the data. That's right, push the data. But now, after yelling push the data so much, I'm wondering if my phone is a boy or a girl. That matters, whether you get a pink case or a blue case. But anyway, that was done. And then there was a problem with text messaging. On certain select text messages, I would get an error message, and I worked with a tech rep and got that completed. But my advice to anyone trying to do business with T-Mobile, never, ever do it on the web. It's like analyzing an aircraft accident. If you look back about the Trail of Tears, way back to December 4th, I was working with some guy with text, the little text box on the side of their site to put my order in, and he was just downright deceptive about a lot of things, and I gave that feedback to him. I don't know if they'll fix it or not. But anyway, I had to go through a big bill adjustment and everything with them because I wasn't available from December 4th till December the 22nd, and yet they still wanted to charge me full freight for all that time. So I had to get that fixed too. So a lot of work, but hopefully we're there. And I now have a box. It's about the size of a large, maybe like one of those old-fashioned large dictionaries, and it feels like it's filled with lead. I mean, there's really a lot in that box. It's very, very dense. And I don't even have it setting right up against a window as they suggest, but it's back, a good 1.5 meters, and I'm getting 3 bars on it in good speed. So I hope that continues to work out. And the cell phone, once I got the number ported over and had that baby, then got the text messaging fixed, I think that will work. So we'll have to see how this all goes. But just to give you an example of... I'm supposed to get a $300 MasterCard rebate kind of thing. Well, the trick is you have to apply for that within 30 days of the initial transaction, but they don't give it to you for 90 days later. And so if you wait beyond 30 days to apply for it, figuring, well, I won't get it in 90 days anyway, then you can't get it anymore. So a lot of quickies like that you got to read the fine print on. So anyway, well, Mesh Core, I believe, is what Wade was talking about. I'll have to stay tuned for that. Sounds very interesting. And appreciate, Wade, all the work you put into the repeater. Also, Carlos and Rob, if you're listening, appreciate that too. So with that, this is James, WU7N. Looks like we got about 8 more minutes. Let's see how far we can get around. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue, turning back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
WU7N, thanks with that. And again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, I was thinking of Bob, he could take a J-pole antenna and tape it to the downspout outside of his house, and that would be inconspicuous. You'd probably get out a pretty good signal with that, but the elk antenna probably would be the best bet in your attic, or you might even be able to try it inside the house and penetrate the walls. I'm sure they don't have aluminum foil insulation on the walls on your house, so anyway, you might be able to get out of that. I had a problem with the elk antenna at my house. They had the insulation that had the aluminum foil backing on it, and I couldn't get out the wall that I needed to. It just suppressed the signal. But then I got an outside antenna out, and it worked fine. But I think a J-pole would be a good addition to your antennas up there. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM. And we're going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU. What say you, Ron?
Okay, thank you very much, Dave, and hello to the group again, KD7QKU. Well, this is my little mesh core radio. My goodness, they're just itty-bitty. Of course, they run through your phone with Bluetooth. But anyway, so Wade, if you're listening, I kind of messed mine up. I tried to turn it off last night. I did get it off somehow, but now it won't stay on. So I can hook it up to Bluetooth and everything, get it working, maybe listen to 1 or 2 pings, and then it's off again. So I don't know what I did, but I'm going to need your help, I think. So I was thinking, Bob, there's quite a few things you could do, maybe. If you have a mobile, you could be inside your house and crossband repeat to your mobile car sitting in the driveway for 2 meter or 70 centimeter. I don't think they can say anything to you about having an antenna on your car unless it's really ugly. I can't remember if I transmitted from Whidbey Island with my mobile I had in the motorhome, I epoxied a piece of metal on top of the roof, and I had a magnetic mount up there, just like a mobile, and it was dual band, and it would just work great. I did carry an elk antenna with me in a tripod, and I could set it up, but I very seldom ever needed it. From Camino Island, I got in just fine with my mobile antenna on the pickup, and it's just fender mounted between the crack of the fender and the hood, but it was a dual band, and I never had any trouble getting in with it up around Camino Island. I had a friend that lived there, and I used to go up there quite a bit. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Back to net, KE7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ of Whidbey Island.
Okay, well, I'm not going to trust the drop this time. the Carlos drop, I'm going to call it, which has worked in the past. I don't know why it didn't this time. I can't remember if I said the temperature's 30, well, it's just gone up a little bit to 37.2 from 36.8, and we are not supposed to get to freezing. I guess maybe I did say it, because I was talking about draining my trailer. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, yeah, on my new phone. The one thing, and I'm glad that you talked about your phone problems, not that you have phone problems, James, but that you talked about them, because I was supposed to be able to set up visual voicemail with my new service, with my new cell phone service. I did. That was one of the things that worked really well with AT&T, and I haven't been able to get it to work. And I checked, and I have voicemail messages. And at the time I checked, I couldn't stop and listen to them, and then I forgot. So now I have to go back and listen to all my voicemail messages that I have. And I'm going to have to try and figure out something with the visual voicemail, because I really don't want to have to call in, constantly to check and see if I have any messages. Okay, I'll say that's it for me tonight. 73, everybody. Back to net control, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I know about hot mustard, that's for sure. And it does. It comes in different strengths, and you never know what strength you have by looking at it. That's the problem. I always just try to take a little taste to start with, just to see, because I don't want to, think it was like the last batch and put it all over my food, and then, oh my God, it's just, you are just crying tears. I mean, it's just like I'm at a funeral or something. It just comes pouring out of my eyes, and I have to blow my nose, and holy moly, no thank you. So, but I do like hot mustard when it's under control. So that's for sure. God, if someone could enlighten me after the net on Discord about the car scam, I just totally spaced out on James' story, and maybe I remember it when someone tells me. So anyway, and then wait. Looks like no James on Discord tonight. So anyway, that's about it. All I can say is go Seahawks. They need to continue to play football and win, but we don't need anybody to get hurt. That's the big problem now. We got 2 more games before the playoffs to the Super Bowl, and we're in the playoffs. So now just don't get hurt. But we still need to win. It's kind of a conundrum, isn't it? Because inevitably people get hurt trying to win. So, looks like it's 9 o'clock. I'll say 73, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And it's time to terminate the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. And on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.
Node 3670028 disconnected.